What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the Land of Reckless Logic. Please make sure you guys pop that like button, hit the subscribe button, and please smack that notification bell so do not miss any of my posts from me. Let's get straight into this video. Alrighty, guys. As you guys can already tell by the title of this video, we will be talking about Tory Lanez, Chrisean Rock, and Jaguar Wright. Now, just so you guys are aware, welcome to the Reckless Bureau. Now, the Reckless Bureau is a black web series where we have panelists come together and we talk about very current and controversial things. But before we even get started, and also before I introduce my panel, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to run my fair use and explicit content disclaimer because I know for a fact things more than likely are going to get heated. Let's get straight into it, y'all. Disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allows is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, always constructive. Comment down below. News reporting, I guess that's what we doing. Teaching, hopefully y'all learn something. Scholarship, we ain't got no money. Education and research so you can get a nasty piece of degree. Okay? Fair use is the use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. How's everyone doing? What's going on, logicians? How are you guys feeling today? Alrighty. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to introduce my panel. I'm going to bring them up one by one. And also, I'm going to have them introduce themselves. So the first person we have up here is Conscious. Hey,
hi.
What's going on?
Thanks for having me.
Hey.
Nothing much. My name is Conscious TV. You guys probably already know me. You can follow me on Conscious TV with a Z on YouTube or on Instagram. I am a commentator who commentates about it all. So just come and get, what you need. Don't spit out nothing, actually. I want you to swallow the meat, and I definitely want you to swallow the bone, baby. Okay? Okay.
Ooh, girl, you nasty. All right. So
I am.
Oh, yeah, we know, girl. All right, so I'm going to bring up my next guest. What's going on, IG?
What's going on, IG? And Conscious, I guess that's why niggas be saying give a dog a bone, you heard me?
Yeah.
What's happening? It's IG here. I'm happy to be on the panel with my two fabulously intellectual brothers. And and they cute too, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm just ready to get into this conversation, this dialogue before I got to go to the plantation. I'm just saying, if y'all see me creep out this time, I got to go ahead and I took the king's money. Nigga got to do the king's bidding.
Period.
All righty. So now we also have a new face. Well, she's not new to me, but she new to y'all. All right. So we're going to bring up a new person. I'm going to bring up a new panelist. I'm going to have her introduce herself. Hey, what's going on?
There's no sound.
Can y'all hear her?
No.
Are you muted?
She unmuted.
Okay.
She don't have no sound.
She looked muted.
Let me see.
I still can't hear you, boo.
Oh no, we can't hear you. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna drop you and I'm gonna bring you right back up. Alrighty? Let's do this. Bye.
Y'all, I told Reckless not to make a partial payment on StreamYard, so now y'all know what a partial payment looks like.
Let me see. God. Bring her right back in. In the meantime, y'all have fun. Y'all kind of, chit chat with each other.
Like this motherfucking video, y'all. Y'all know what to do.
Like, share the video. Y'all working people. You got friends that be working all day like me. Send them some good that's gonna nourish them to help their motherfucking day go by.
Yes. I cannot tell y'all how hard Reckless work, y'all, to put this panel together, girl, and the devil is really trying his itty bitty ponytail, girl. It was really trying to pull every hair strand into a little rubber band on top of his hair, girl. So y'all got to really pray, child. He pushing through, girl. He put in that work. Matter of fact, where the hell our pictures at, Reckless?
Huh?
Where our pictures at?
Girl, that's on Instagram, and I got you guys. You guys have already been posted, and I most definitely tagged you in it.
Oh my!
So make sure you
I
guys.
just I saw the live post on Instagram. It literally just popped up.
Just popped up. My
The
God.
notification.
My
Well,
God.
the video this stream just started. It just started. So
All right, so she should be in. Okay, so she's coming up right now. Hey everyone! In the meantime, let me say hello to everyone. What's going on?
goodness.
Hey, how you doing, CJ's daughter? Hey Anya, how you doing? What's going on, Lux Tea Party? Hey Ro. Hey Breeze. How you doing? Hey, Breeze, how you been? How have you been?
Right.
Cause baby, I feel like I haven't seen you the last couple. At least your comment. At least I haven't been paying attention to it. I don't know. Maybe I just been missing it. Oh, there she go. So she's coming right now. Gotcha. Hey, baby. Actually, do this. I'm gonna drop the comment, the link in the comment section. Just click it and then join. Well, Drisha. Bam.
Is Miss Dracia any sort of kind of can to Miss Summer D. Walker?
Baby, girl. You asked the wrong person. I don't know. What we got to ask her when she get up here?
I'm in here getting dressed, y'all. I got a lot going on.
Come on, girl.
Got a lot going on.
I'm gonna have a costume change in this bitch in about an hour and 15 minutes.
That's gonna be all
that's about how much wardrobe time I got.
Yes.
Baby. Okay, so in the meantime, let me do this.
In the meantime,
Miami Mountain. Okay, so let's get started. Oh, here she go right here. There we go. Are you with us? Do y'all hear her?
No, she gotta say something, Drisha. I don't think she can hear us. You can't hear us.
Let me see.
She's unmuted, but she can't hear us.
Yeah.
For some reason. Oh my goodness.
Let me see.
I cannot believe the devil is this bothering.
Can you hear us?
Nope, she can't hear us and we can't hear her.
Why does it always happen? You was just freaking fine.
Yeah, we was all chatting and shit.
Until it was showtime at the Apollo, girl.
I know too, that be happening to me in them days and sometimes when I still be singing and giving
so
nigga voice.
Okay, so we're gonna do this. I'm just gonna be upfront and honest.
Bro, we're gonna have to improv this show.
No, I'm about to reschedule it because it's too much.
No, girl, we already here, so we might as well just make it work. Make something work, and just change the title out.
For real.
It just makes something work. Cause I mean, we're already in this bitch.
Yeah.
Okay. So first we want to talk about. I'm gonna work with her. So yeah, I'm gonna work with her while we introduce the first topic. Okay, so first thing we're gonna talk about the state of California versus Tory Lanez.
Oh my god!
Now you already know why we're here.
Oh my god! I'm gonna let.
All right, so the first things first, I want to break down what's been going on. I'm pretty sure everybody knows, but we're gonna go through it anyway. So as everybody knows, Daystar Peterson, aka the name of Tory Lanez, everybody knows he was involved in a shooting incident with Megan Thee Stallion. Now, this incident, of course, came from both Tory Lanez and.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn, yes,
I can't hear y'all.
Okay, so I got you. 1 second.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, it's like it was just working fine yesterday. Okay, so yes. So with Tory Lanez or whatever, he was involved with a shooting incident with Megan Thee Stallion. And this incident stemmed from being at a party at Kylie Jenner's house. Time went on, they ended up getting to a shooting or whatever. Megan Thee Stallion was shot in the foot with fragments. Then this led to Megan Thee Stallion coming out on Instagram Live saying that she was shot by Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez also coming out on live saying that he didn't do it, but he wasn't there, but he was there. She's lying. She don't know what she's talking about. Being very much, he was gaslighting. Kelsey also came out on Instagram Live saying things on the lines of, "Come to find out, you was already messing with a dude I was messing with first," and basically made the situation kind of more, I would say, make it worse, because Megan said one thing, Tory saying something else, Kelsey saying another thing. So now we really don't know who to trust in a sense. This also led to each one of them releasing music, diss music. And then after the verdict, after Tory Lanez was found guilty on all charges, Sunstar Peterson, aka Tory Lanez's son, his father, came out on Instagram basically saying that Rock Nation has something to do with it and his son is innocent. So who do you guys believe actually shot Megan Thee Stallion? And while you guys do that and talk amongst each other, I'm gonna be working on Walker.
I'm gonna let IG hit that first since I don't rip this discussion. I mean,
Yeah,
2 weeks.
I mean, I was put that with y'all, you know what I'm saying, in conversation, listening at work, and how if you can call me my bias, I just have good data and statistical reasons and anecdotal reasons why I wasn't far-fetched based off of just violent behavior that especially, I don't know, it's like you can't just piss on me and tell me it's raining outside. Like, it's only a matter of time before gas prices go up because you're using all the fucking fuel to gaslight your point of view. I what other evidence was going to show? I don't really, at this point. It is what it is, but it's just a matter of seeing what justice will actually be served versus how about sentence, and then we can have, I think, a more in-depth, more conversation. But at this point, yes, the nigga shot her without a shadow in my doubt. Like, yeah.
On period. I have to join IG in that sentiment that not only is there enough historical data to support that, women are oftentimes on the brutal end of DV at the hands of little men with frail egos like Mr. Tory Lanez, but Tory Lanez's pathology and history outside of this shooting with Meg also is very telling of why the pendulum is going to lean more toward Tory than Meg. He's been in fights with August Alsina, with R&B singer Joshua Bennett, with the rapper Zax, with Prince from Hollywood, from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, who recently also just came out and said that he actually wants the judge to review his settlement because Tory Lanez intimidated him into signing their settlement agreement by having a gun present during the signing of that paperwork and those documentations. So literally, you have also a Tory Lanez who was arrested for gun possession and drug charges back in 2017. This is a man whose life is reeked in criminality and violence and egotism. And so for this situation to culminate under all of what IG said about the historical data, and then all of Tory Lanez's personal history that lends more toward him being a perpetrator. But shit, the evidence itself was also pretty damn convincing. That infamous jailhouse phone call to Kelsey, where he literally was pussy popping and almost caught himself about to incriminate himself and profusely apologizing. This is a hot, diggity, shitty mess. There was also the diss records where he's literally have a severed stallion's leg in the display case of the meat shop. I mean, there's all of this and all of that. So it's clear to me that anybody who doesn't believe that Tory Lanez is guilty under all of the eyewitness account from Kelsey, from Meg to Sean Kelly, the neighbor in the neighborhood, to the jailhouse phone call, to the GSR, to Tory Lanez's own personal pathology outside of the shooting. You're just a male worshiping mammy or a black male worshiping pappy. And that's just that, because the evidence is as clear as it's ever going to be that this man is exactly where the fuck he belongs. And I rest my case.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Walker, Adrisha, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yay! You're back, sis.
Hey, connection.
Oh Lord. Okay. Oh Lord. Now, y'all keep in mind, y'all over here windmilling on the memification of StreamYard right now, girl. Because baby, it's giving us some things, but we're gonna get through it. All right, so just so you're aware, because I don't know if you were here the whole time, but right now what we're talking about the situation between Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez, to where he was convicted guilty on all charges. So the first question I wanted to ask is, who do you believe actually shot Megan, in your personal opinion?
Oh, I'm kind of biased. I feel like both him as in Tory Lanez and Kelsey, they both pulled the trigger. Me personally, I think they did.
Okay. So with so what makes you think that because I do know for a fact, because when we covered this case, there was a lot of mixed information, and all of that stuff got mixed together. So what made you think that that they both put the trigger?
Well, I know that they found a female's fingerprints on the weapon. So that's what made me think it had to be her. And then an eyewitness who said that Tory, in fact, was the one that was shooting in the air. So I know for sure that he had a part in it. So both of them for sure.
Okay. Does anybody else agree, disagree? Like what? So what's going on, y'all? Hold up.
Well, to clarify, there was a lot of fingerprints on the actual firearm. There was both male and female DNA on the firearm. So to Idrisha's point, it's clear that both genders definitely came into contact with that gun. Now, I believe the contact that was made wasn't because they both were shooting. I believe that, especially considering Kelsey's 2022 interview with the prosecutor, she went through a whole melee of how many altercations happened that night between her and Tory. And she was also shoved back in the vehicle by the driver, Daquan, after Meg was initially shot. I believe that Kelsey came into contact with the gun because she moved it when she was thrown into the front seat of the vehicle. Or that she even hid it herself even. Because I believe that Tory Lanez dropped the gun in the vehicle once he realized Meg had been injured. And when Daquan removed Kelsey so that Tory and Meg could talk privately, and he put her back in the front seat where Tory Lanez shot the gun at, I believe that's how she came into contact with the gun. I believe she probably hid it underneath the bag and all of that where police found it at. But I don't believe that she also shot the gun at Meg. I did at first before I heard from Sean Kelly. Once I heard from Sean Kelly, and then I heard Kelsey's full dissertation about what happened that night, I was like, oh yeah, I'm clear.
I mean, that's fair. We don't know, and how will we know? We don't know. The case is a mess.
I agree. But let's start with what we know. And that's why, when I said my answer, I was like, yeah, I'm clear with, you can call me biased, but it's not just based, it's just all of the data and all the things of him personally. It's not like, if it was indeed, even with it being the complete opposite, and let's say if Megan was known as the aggressor and this situation happened, if there was that much evidence pointing in the direction that the female was the aggressor, I'm going to, despite not as many females being the aggressor in that crime, without the sign of if there's abuse and stuff like that, and she's the aggressor, and I'm gonna still take into consideration that, yeah, well, based off of that, if Megan was the one who had the history of abuse and being just altercations and violent repeatedly, and she shot Tory, okay, I would even still use the same bias based off of that behavior of this person. I would still have to go with that regardless of their gender or sex.
Yeah, I don't believe it was Kelsey at all, honestly. Just based off of her initial account of the situation, it seems like she said, she was getting out of the car, and that's probably why she got gun residue on her, as well as Tori fighting her and her being yanked between the bodyguard and Tori. I mean, that's an easy transfer of gunpowder.
But what do you make of Idrisha also talking about like there being female fingerprints also on the firearm? Not just the GSR, but that there were fingerprints on the actual firearm.
I mean, well, because she did say that once Megan was down, she ran to Megan when Megan was down in the driveway. She said that she ran to Megan, and then when Tori was coming up, he was coming up with the gun, and they were fighting before the bodyguard removed her. So, I think that when Tori came up and she said she was standing in between them two and fighting him before the bodyguard removed her, that she was probably touching the gun.
Okay, another sensible argument.
I totally can agree with that, Presley.
Yeah, because there was a lot of altercations going on between her. Like they fought like 2 times that night.
And of course, it would make it so easy, especially for, I mean, this nigga is abusive to punch another man in the face. So it would be just as easy, especially if a female is in his way and going for the weapon. Yeah, he gonna really hit this. He gonna hit this lady like Lawrence Fishburne hit Angela Bassett and What's Love Got to Do with it in that studio scene. He gonna hit her that hard because that's how he's going to hit a man. Just saying.
Yeah, and on top of that, when August Alsina came out with his claims, he he heavily implied that Tory was smoking bunk, which is basically weed with was basically a blunt with weed and cocaine in it. So I mean, like if you smoking on that, like plus the alcohol, like I
I
I
mean,
mean, come on.
for some people, I mean, I will say that because I'm an avid 420 person, and I drink and smoke marijuana. But if that behavior is in you, but I will say that yes, the agency of for some people, they don't need to do any of those things. Be not because of the substance or itself. It's because of the intrapersonal work. All that does is just help that come out as an agent. But if you're healthily having a drink or smoking marijuana, you know what I'm saying? I ain't judging you if do whatever you do. It's just how you do it, and it doesn't do you. And I think if a person has an addictive, or if they have something that they're repressing and this is who they really want to be, and without getting therapy or seeking some type of intervention, that's just going to help exacerbate that and help that manifest more comfortably. So in a way, I do agree, but I can see where, yeah, these people, I think they've been them substance of, to be honest, that's a very common substance in certain class. Hell, hood niggas do it. They smoke weed, they drink, and they have alcohol. And some of them you'll never know that's what they do. But then you'll have some that you can tell it brings out that other dark side of them. So
Yeah, I
and
was.
these people they've been, but in that sector, yeah, man, they've been getting fucked up like that. I just think that was something that, based off of so much of his behavior, I think, bro, regardless if he was sober, he would cock cola bitch in the face.
Yeah, I wasn't bringing that up to like use that as like an excuse as to why his violent behavior came out. I was just adding that on,
Yeah.
because like as articles have stated, like his temper has gotten, like he showed signs of his temper in the courtroom. Like he showed that he was upset that Megan said that her career was bigger than his while he was in court. I'm not sure if he was sober while he was in court, but I would assume he was. And that behavior still came out. So I wasn't trying to say that as an
No,
excuse
no.
for his behavior.
No, I wasn't saying that to say that. I was just pointing out it wasn't like a combative. I was just saying, I just point out if I said that like that, I was wrong in that sense. I'm just saying, I think that people, regardless, even if he did that, right? Even if he didn't do that, it's just that behavior would still stand forward. But I think him smoking and drinking and doing all of the powder and shit, they in that scene, even before people come up from those statuses that I've seen it done so casually from so many different races of people. I'm from New Orleans and I live in Texas. I live in certain areas and certain different classes. And the use of that combination isn't the behavior of some people who are just going to have that behavior. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it doesn't exacerbate it at all, but I think regardless if they do or not, somehow, some way, something's going to trigger the manifestation within them if they see it or feel it for them to respond that way.
Yeah, it's a part of their personality.
Hmm.
So I do have a question. Do
You
y'all
mute,
feel like
Reckless.
justice?
Uh, Go ahead, boo.
Oh no, I was gonna ask. Do y'all feel like justice was served?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm gonna say yes, absolutely. I definitely believe that he deserves to do time. I know that was controversial, is how much time he's facing, but that's just the max. More than likely, he won't do 22 whole
Yeah.
years in in prison. But I definitely believe that he definitely deserves to do some time. It was reckless endangerment. He could have permanently injured this woman, which would have permanently impacted her ability to go forward in her career. He could have killed her. He was shooting off an unregistered gun. This could have went through somebody's bedroom window. This could have
Right.
went through somebody's front door. He could have injured somebody who was also outside walking their dog. This is a very kind of upscale elderly community where a lot of retired people live. So it was just reckless as hell. It was dangerous as hell. Um, and yeah, it was reckless as hell, and it wasn't even just the shooting involved. It was also holding them hostage. Kelsey also said that the reason they got back in the vehicle is because Tory approached them with the gun and made them get back in the SUV. And so, these women were held against their will. They were assaulted. Somebody was physically injured. The consequences could have been even worse. And the biggest thing here is this is a repeat offender. This man was already on a type of probation, even over the past 2 years of this situation, from prior gun charges and from prior situations like the one he was in with August Alsina. He had to be reprimanded even while facing gun possession charges and shooting with a deadly weapon. It's like, so at some point, 7 years of buffoonery, 7 years later, a probation and a lawsuit from another reality star revolving around perpetuated violence, and you've been found guilty in a situation, they're definitely going to sentence him appropriately because it's just too much to not reprimand accordingly. So yeah, I do think that justice has been served.
Okay, and then I wanted to ask you a question just because when you asked if justice has been served, I thought that you were on the side of Tory being guilty, but I think that I misread you a little bit. So are you on the side of like Tory being innocent or Kelsey being guilty? I didn't.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, right? Before the last court incident, I was on Tory's side. I feel like none of these individuals were credible. There was just a lot of information, and even to this day, the whole situation just irks my nerves. And personally, I believe that the case should have been thrown out.
Why do you think that it should have been thrown out, though?
Like I said, it's just too many lies. It started off with lies. Too many additional parts. It's too much. And if I was to judge, no.
But what lies do you think affected the ending, as in Tory shot? Like, what lies do you think should have gotten the case thrown out?
Honestly, was the very beginning with Megan trying to quote unquote cover things up and trying to protect Tory Lanez, and then her coming out with, oh, they never had a sexual relationship. And then, it was just too much for me. So I'm like, Megan is a liar. She's always in drama, and I'm not a Megan hater. I actually like Megan.
What drama has she been in, though? Like,
Megan, I mean, she's definitely calmed down, I would say, within the past year or so. But before, sis was wilding.
Okay, but what I'm trying to ask you, like, what drama has she? Because I haven't heard of Megan being in no drama. What drama has she been in?
You haven't heard of Megan being in any drama ever?
No, I'm asking, what drama are you citing when you say Megan's been in some drama? I'm like, what drama are you thinking about?
Drama in particular with men.
But what I'm asking you, like, what's your example?
You got Tory Lanez, you got the baby, and then you got the baby in the midst of this situation talking about he hit her a day after Tory or something like that. And then you got Party, and then who else did she used to mess with? It was just too much for me personally. So, like I said, with her starting off with the interview with, was it Gail? It was someone that she had an interview with.
It was Gail King.
Right. It was just lying in front of this lady's face. It was just like, what is it? And then she came back and was like,
wait, hold up.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna be honest. I think the thing is that like I said, there's a lot of misinformation, but also as well too that. Okay, so here's the thing. When it comes down to the Megan Thee Stallion thing, it was a lot of nuance in the court case. Now, in terms of her lying, now here's the thing, because I know this chat for going to say, the thing about it is that we understand that she lied about sleeping with Tory, but I think the thing is as well, I don't think, the thing is that what people have didn't really pay attention to is that Tory lied his ass off. Girl, Tory lied. Told bold-faced lies at that. It was a Instagram live, help me remember, Conscious. It was the one with he was wearing white and green. He was using so much gaslighting language. So the thing is because maybe some of the things you probably didn't see. So when he was like in the live, he basically was like, when Megan came out, she was like, yo, he shot me. And then he had the nerve and say, he was like, she's saying that she got shot, but it was bullet fragments. And how does she know she got shot? Why are you able to walk? And the thing about it is that you knew she was shot because, bitch, you were there. You were there. You had GSR on you. The fingerprints in the weapon being non-conclusive. You was there. So he was sitting there lying. And I'm gonna tell you where he really got. Because at first we thought he was gonna kind of get off, or he gonna get something, but not what people thought he should have gotten. Is when one of the defense, which is Tory Lanez people, one of the defense attorneys witness, Sean Kelly, came out and went on the stand and basically said that Tory Lanez, the short one, the little one, basically was the one firing the weapon. And so that was what really sealed the deal. Because to be completely honest with me and Conscious and stuff, we did like the hey Anya, like we did the whole, like we covered the whole case every single day, like the whole trial for 10 days straight. And baby, it was like maybe Kelsey did it, maybe Tory did it, maybe they both did it. Well, maybe I don't know. But then once that witness got on that stand and said that I ain't got I got no reason to lie. I don't know Tori, I don't know Megan, I don't know Kelsey. This motherfucker shot her. And so when he said that, we was like, yep, he did it. And then I have a question. Have you heard the phone call that was released after the fact? Because because with the phone call and stuff, like you actually heard him. He was guilty as hell. He was apologizing. He was so sympathetic. And the thing about it is like, why are you apologizing to the person that shot somebody else and the reason why you in jail? I'm not apologizing to no damn shooter. Oh, hell no.
Yeah, no, I remember that. And don't get me wrong, I am not negating the fact that Tory Lanez did not shoot Megan in the air. I'm not doing that. He's no angel. But what I'm saying is, with all the controversy within this case, it's too much. Like I said, no one is really credible. So if I was the judge, case thrown out.
But I have a question for you, Chrisean. I have a question for you. You know, like everybody has their fair share of personal drama, so can't two things be true at the same time? Like she can have, you know, her fair share of drama, whatever that looks like, and also be telling the truth about Tory Lanez, especially when there's also corroborating evidence. Because it's not like that verdict is based upon pure he say, she say, and narrative. It's actually based upon evidence, eyewitness account, gun shell casings, GSR is based upon, you know, all of these things. So can't two things be, because I'm trying to understand, like, what does, because you brought up the baby, but the baby inserted himself into something that never had anything to do with him to ride clout, because he's only selling 2 copies of his album on PayPal. So, you know, he was just trying to get it in. And her drama with Tory, like it all revolved in that situation, but I don't understand like how it's connected, how the drama is connected to the circumstance of the gun and her being shot by Tory. And to Reckless's point, him openly denying it as if there was no shooting at all, because at the time that he did that live stream in 2020 or 2021, the public didn't know all the things that we know now. There was no jailhouse phone call. There was no Sean Kelly. There was no forensic scientist. He knew we were dumb and ignorant. So he sat on that IG live and downplayed there even being a shooting at all, while knowing that there had been a whole gun that had been discharged and the clip had been emptied out. And he played in our face. The only person who seemed to have told the truth is Megan Thee Stallion. And Kelsey corroborated Meg's eyewitness account in her deposition to the DA.
Kelsey, she definitely flip-flopped back and forth.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's, like I said, it's too much.
But she never flip-flopped on Tory shooting Meg. She, in her initial text messages to Justin Edison, the bodyguard, that same night while there was an SUV, she sent Justin a text and said, Tory shot Meg, help. Then one of her girlfriends came out when she started pussy popping and was like, girl, you also, within that same night, within that same time frame, you came back to the place to get your clothes and told me that Tory shot Meg. And then Meg said Tory shot Meg. And then Sean Kelly said Tory shot Meg. And then Justin Edison, the bodyguard, also said that when he went to go retrieve her pantyhose and bras and her thongs and shit from over there, that even Tory Lanez confessed to him that he shot Meg. And here it is, you have Tory denying there was even a shooting. I mean, my God.
But how, more importantly, Tory admitted to us that he shot Meg.
Oh, yeah.
What I wanted to speak on is when you talk about like lies and drama. I know Megan lied twice. She lied about the initial incident, and then she lied about sleeping with Tory. During the initial incident,
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But during the initial incident, I'm not sure if you saw the video and like the body cams and stuff, But all of them were pulled out by police at gunpoint. So if you're in a car, you've just been shot, and you're pulled out by police at gunpoint during this time with George Floyd, it would be reasonable to think that if you said there's a gun in the car, that the police are going to be like, I was scared, so I shot them all. You know what I mean? Like if you're at gunpoint, it wasn't like they just pulled them out of the car. They pulled them out at gunpoint. Like if you look at the body cam, that is scary. Like she was already trying to like hide this and cover this, which I did not agree with at all. But once the police came, they they opened the door and while pointing a gun in her face. So do you think if a gun was in your face, you're going to say I have a gun in the car?
Yes.
Girl, you brave, bitch. I would have lied my ass off.
It's not like you have the gun in your hand. That's like when you're pulled over for a traffic stop. Hey, I have a gun in the car. Now
but
we've heard of situations of it escalating, but there's nothing wrong with saying, "Hey, there's a gun in the car." While you're being escorted out
during the traffic stop, though, is there a gun being pointed at your face? That's what I'm saying.
Right. So the gun
When
is being
somebody
pointed
pulls
at
you
my
up,
face as I'm getting out the car. Hey, there's a gun in the car. These are my hands. You get what I'm saying?
that don't work
Yeah.
during this. That
Presley. The thing that's dangerous about that question is that it's subjective because different people are going to react differently in a situation like that. Some people are going to say, "Hell yeah, that nigga shot me! Police, get his ass!" Some people gonna put it all in that moment, okay? And some people gonna placate the street code, or they're gonna read the room, or they're gonna choose the lesser of the two evils in that situation. And Meg felt like the lesser of the two evils was the crew she was familiar with versus white police under all of the Sandra Bland, George Floyd, police brutality era. So she made a personal decision that I'd rather go with the devil I'm the most familiar with, which is this crew, and not escalate a situation by telling these white officers in this upscale community that there's a hot gun in the car and it was discharged at me, and then risk these motherfuckers swatting our asses.
Yeah, I get that. I would have chosen the former because, like, not only was there a gun pointed at her face, like directly in her, the body cam directly at her face, but there was a helicopter over her. Like, what the like? I don't. That was a reasonable laugh.
It was like some Resident Evil shit.
Yeah, like it was literally a helicopter over her, a gun being pointed directly at her fucking forehead while they were taking her out of the car. So I understand both sides, but I'm just saying I understand why she lied about that. And then in the second lie, she lied about sleeping with Tory, which is like, okay, what does that have to do with him shooting her? I don't get it.
Yeah, so what else could you be lying about?
So can
Are you kidding me right now?
Let me jump in real quick because I want to ask Drisha. You said that
it's Drisha.
How you say it, sweetie?
Yeah.
Drisha.
Uh-huh.
Drisha. Okay, you say you're not a fan of Megan. I'm not a fan of hers either. But
no, I didn't say that.
You did say
no,
you're not a didn't she say she's not a fan of Megan?
No, she didn't say that.
Okay, she said and she said that she was kind of indifferent because the situation's so messy that it's hard to draw.
So messy, but she actually likes Megan.
Okay, I thought my apologies because I was gonna ask you: are you a Tory's fan? Like, are you a fan of Tory or the baby? Because all of the when you said Megan, like she's always in drama. Anything controversial that Megan was involved in was all industry controversy. You know what I mean? With Nicki Minaj, and like the party thing and all that. It was never like this woman has never that we've known of outside of
Nicki Minaj
leaking the information about her previously having an altercation with her ex or something like that, a DV type of thing. We've never heard of her being in any violent drama, anything that surrounded violence. So I'm just kind of curious. I heard, but if you can just say it again, since I misheard with you not being a fan of hers. when you say like she was in drama and all the other things that went to,
I don't know what else you want me to say, and I don't feel like.
I was saying no. What I was saying is, I said I may have misheard you. I know clearly I misheard you because I thought you said you weren't a fan of hers.
Mhm. Yeah,
So I was just
I'm not a
asking.
fan of. I'm not like a Megan Thee Stallion fan. I'm not a Tory Lanez fan. I have nothing against either one of these individuals. I will listen to their music till this day. But as far as how the story came along, right off bat, there were lies. Throughout the incident, there were lies. Am I negating the fact that Tory Lanez shot Megan Thee Stallion and in the air? Absolutely not. But my standpoint is the fact that this is a mess. And if I was to judge, I would throw the case out and leave it alone. Well, let me not do that, because I feel like in a way justice does need to be served as far as, like you said, reckless endangerment. Absolutely. But I would have to go back and look at the charges to see what he was indicted on. But it's a mess.
On
Wait, hold
discharging
on.
an illegal on discharging an
So
illegal firearm, on reckless endangerment, on a reckless a discharging of a weapon,
yeah.
Sounds
So
the
yeah.
same.
So
the bodily harm.
Because to be honest, even if there was no evidence pointing or showing that he shot anybody in the car, if there is any piece of evidence that it was showing that he shot in the neighborhood and the value of the protection of that property and those people, there is absolutely no way he would not get convicted of something.
Yeah.
There's
okay.
just based off of classism. Oh no, and racism. Absolutely not.
Oh,
There's
you bitch, he would have got
absolutely
something.
yeah. There is absolutely no way that there would have not been some consequence for everybody, despite whoever's particularly involved. No way.
And also, I wanted to say, if you said that if you were a judge, you would throw it out because of all of the drama that Megan has been in, but everything that you cited as drama has been men talking about their sex life. The baby, like, oh, I fucked her this day. Money bag, yo, oh, you was my girl and you left me. Like, so you're going to like this you're going to throw out a case of a woman being shot because of bitter exes? Like, that's crazy to me.
I feel like you're stuck on the fact that I said that Megan was involved in a lot of drama, but I also said that there was a lot of lies.
But what were the lies besides her lying about saying glass because she was pulled out of a car at gunpoint with a helicopter over her head, and her not wanting to admit that she fucked a ugly nigga that she didn't like? Like, I don't. How is that? Where are the other lies? I don't understand.
I think
I
that.
think what Presley is trying to say is that it's a false equivalency. Like, those lies can be cited as lies, but the gravity of the situation is also supported by a whole lot of other evidence. So while everybody lied to some degree in the situation, but I just don't want us to forget that there's also like a quantified amount of evidence to support the plight of the verdict given to Mr. Tory Lanez. It's not just about he say, she say, and a bunch of drama, but a bunch of corroborating evidence too that got his ass locked up. Oh, and his past in tandem with that.
Yes, I was gonna say, because his past plays a huge part, because even though he may not get 24 or 22 plus years, but from what we understand is that since he does have a past of getting in trouble with the law and he does have a history, he's probably going to be on the higher end of that spectrum. You know, he may not get the 20 plus, but he may get that 15, 14, 17, 18, 19. He might be up in that area. But I do want to get Showtime in here. What's going on? How you doing?
Hello tonight.
What's good, gang? What's happening?
Hey,
What's
what's
that?
going on with you? Let me get some more diverse people up in here. Okay.
All right.
So So
What was
your
the
personal
controversy?
opinion,
Uh-huh.
yes. So like when it comes down to it, like who do you believe that shot Megan Thee Stallion?
Okay. From my understanding, right, for being in that type of situation before, you feel me? No offense.
Mhm,
Like,
mhm,
here's where it kind of outlies everything. When you shoot a gun, right, residue come back on you.
mhm.
I mean, I'm not saying you guys shot a gun. I did, but I know residue comes back on you.
Mhm.
The fact says that there was no gun residue on him. That's a big thing, right? Granted, the gun in the car. I'm not saying he did bring it in. I'm not saying that he possibly did. The question is, if there's no gun residue on him, and there's him, her, and then what's the other girl name in the car with him?
Kelsey.
Yes. How come she wasn't questioned for that? How come they didn't
She
take her in for that,
Uh,
or at least question her about it?
okay,
Like, was that
I'm gonna have to jump in for 2.5 seconds. Okay. Now this the reason why I said earlier that with the misinformation that was going on the blogs and stuff, that's why it makes it really muddy when it comes out to this
go ahead?
situation. Okay, so when it came down to Kelsey and Tory Lanez, both of them had gun residue on them. Both of them had gun residue.
Okay,
I
and
just want to clear that
also
out.
I just wanted to point out that a lot of times people point out like, oh, like Megan's always involved in drama, and her drama is like,
Uh-oh.
I know you say
She
you
is so
stuck on
stuck on
that,
drama.
but her and I am, because that kind of irritated me a little
Uh
bit.
huh.
But
Oh
when
God,
you say
press.
that Megan is involved in drama, it's all bitter exes, but there's no mention of Tory's drama, which are actual crimes. Like that boggles my mind. Everybody's like, "Oh, Megan's always involved in drama," and it's usually her just, like being rude to an ex and them being mad about it, or her sleeping with somebody and leaving them and ghosting them and them being mad about it. But nobody brings up Tori's drama. He's had, but Tori's drama is actual crimes. Like Megan's drama is just I
Personal.
fucked you and left. Like I
Mhm.
don't. That boggles my
Because
mind, and so yeah, I am stuck on that. I admit it. Whatever.
but you know what?
She said,
But President, but you know what? But one thing is because I think also what
Okay.
it is part of male identified culture and masculinity, the toxic or not. For for the brother that's here who have the opposing view, the way that is communicated. Unfortunately, I'm not making an excuse. I'm not saying it is right, but it is conditioning of behavior that I think for a lot of cis hetero men is this that type of response that Tory Lanez reacts with other men, and that's why they compartmentalize differently than us. They can see, despite it being unwarranted, there is a hall pass on just whooping niggas' asses, like males. Like there's a hall pass. And that's why they can compartmentalize that despite how violent he is over and over again with other males. They're gonna treat this sex and gender specific because Megan is a female. Because there's just an unfortunate understood code that even sometimes same gender loving men we share in our relationships, that maleness toxic, that that's why we could get to fighting and everything, because that is kind of just understood. So even if it's not all the way convicted, or even if it is convicted, it for men who are having that, because that's obviously not just the heterosexual male life, that some of us same gender loving men have had to navigate those spaces to know and to hear it. It's compartmentalized differently. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, and it's and that's why this case pisses me off so much, because it's not only the structure of misogyny and all that stuff and double standards, but it also has to do with her looks. It also has to do with her, not being a certain color, not her height, her body, all of that. You know what I mean? Like if this was like, and I know people always compare to like, well, oh, if it was Kylie Jenner and all that, yes, I agree with that. But even if it was another black woman, like if this was like another black woman who didn't appear like Megan, like if this was Lori Harvey, if this was Janae Aiko, people would not have the same vitriol they do for Megan. And I believe that it does have to do with misogyny, but it also has to do with her looks. Because seriously, if 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 Janae Aiko was in this and she had a bunch of her exes saying, "Oh my God, I slept with you, I did this," or whatever, if she came out and said Tory Lanez shot me, she would not have the same backlash that Megan did. And that's part of the reason that it bothers me so much.
Okay. Alrighty, so we're gonna switch gears for a bit. Alrighty, so we got from talking about Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez, and we know he finna get locked the hell up and get probably 22 plus years. But let's start to talk about Miss Jaguar Wright. So Miss Jaguar Wright is in the news once again. For those who do not know who Miss Jaguar Wright is, Jaguar Wright was a R&B, I want to say R&B soul type of singer, artist,
Neo
and
soul.
she was in the industry at one point in time, but then things, to my understanding, things didn't really end well. She ended up leaving the industry, but then she ended up re-entering the mainstream media once again when she actually started to come out, do interviews, IG lives, Facebook lives, etc., to talk about the insidious nature of the industry and really start to expose what the industry is actually about. Now, she said things along the lines of Mary J. Blige is allegedly on drugs, that Mariah Carey done slept her way to the top, allegedly. She said that Mary J. Blige can't sing to save her life. She said that the industry uses children or minors. Girl, on YouTube, get me up out of here. Uses minors and exploit them and hurt them and stuff, and use them for like sacrificial rituals, etc. The Illuminati, the whole 9 yards. But as of recently, she ended up getting into a situation where she actually started to fight her husband outside of a barbershop, and she just went on IG Live. She's talking to the people. Then she started to walk to the barbershop. Then she began beating on her husband, attacking her husband. The husband like kind of defended himself in a sense as in like, get up off me, get up off me. She went back to the car, but once she ended up going back to the car, she grabbed her deceased son's ashes and she went back to the barbershop. But before she did that, now she wanted to make sure her IG Live was still running. And so she flipped the camera. So she began to throw ashes and saying they're all gonna perish. They're all gonna perish. And then when she went back into the vehicle this time, she started to rub the ashes on her face, saying they're all gonna perish. They're all gonna perish. They're all gonna perish. But then recently, she acted a plumb fool inside of an airport, cussing these people out. And she said they better get her bags. They had checked her bags too many times, and she just about went. She basically she took it to instead of taking the situation to 2, she took it to 45. So that's basically what I'm going to say. But my question to you guys is this: in terms of Jaguar Wright and the situation that she was attacking her husband, fighting her husband, and also in the situation of the TSA situation, what are your initial thoughts, Conscious?
What were my initial situations regarding the airport incident?
Yes, and also with her at the barbershop.
The barbershop incident was just, a full-on manifestation of the Dark Phoenix Force and all her trauma coming up and out under whatever is driving her to absolute and utter madness. And the airport incident is just the reality and the receipt that she needed a bit more time on that cot, you know, in the facility getting proper treatment, that she was released a little too early and that the work had not come full circle yet. So, you know, I said this on my platform, and I'm really scared for Jag. I'm really scared that because she's on this very antagonistic, living this very provocative ass lifestyle, that she's going to play with the wrong forces, whether those are the police forces, like the ones that were present at the airport, or whether it's forces in the street, like the ones that were all available to whip her ass at that barbershop, that she's going to tug on the wig of somebody to the east or to the west, and they're going to snatch her ass bald and transition her ass into the African gods and allow the tribunal to decide what her damn next incarnation is. So, you know, I'm shook right now. You know, it's really sad to me. I feel like everybody around Jag is very exploitative, and that, you know, everybody's interested in, you know, having her sensationalize the story, and her husband, you know, I don't even know what to make of him, because when the whole incident took place at the barbershop, he had just come off of the gun incident the night before, where he felt like she was trying to turn his ass into George Floyd, you know, by putting the gun in his head and then escalating things by getting the police involved and having them come to the house, and there being this big ass first 48 ordeal, and this shit could have went left, and he was like, it's over, the marriage is over. But we know that they're back together, and so, you know, it doesn't seem like Jag has anybody that truly has her best interest at heart. Either the people around her are using her, or they're coddling her, or both. And that means that the only way that spirit is going to get her attention is by manifesting like very traumatic circumstances that hopefully kind of shock her consciousness into wakefulness. And the universe will use trauma. It will use misfortune. It will use, you know, these things to compel you forward spiritually. And that's really her only hope right now. So as far as I'm concerned, shit is about to get worse before it gets better. Like, Freddie's back, Nancy.
Girl. Alrighty. IG.
I mean, when I heard about it, you know, I learned all this information here on Conscious and Reckless panel, on you guys' panels. And when I saw the informations and the receipts, and I just was just like, well, you know, I always found it interesting about her that you're saying this after you're out the industry, and it's just kind of like, to me, like, you know, that shows how manipulative you really are, because that tells me that you didn't care about the masses being enlightened and to look out for things. Well, no, because when you were in it, well, the only thing you were doing was entertaining with your voice, and you weren't speaking out. So that you overlooked when you were in the present, experiencing and seeing those things, you carried on. That tells me that you're able to save face. You're playing your poker face, and that, so, you know, you're not. You can emotionally be opportunistic. You can be very calculating. And it's kind of like when we talk about the difference between this so-called orientation versus your sexuality. And honey, that does not exclude heterosexuality. You present your orientation. You present that this is the face. Oh, but what I do in the dark depth, dark recesses of my mind and manifest behind closed doors is what I do in my sexuality. So I'm gonna put that, not me personally, but it's that opposite in the behavior.
Okay. So, Trish, I'm gonna ask you specific questions. How do you feel like, okay, so within the black community, we're having a black context. How do you feel us as melanated people, we respond and look at mental health?
That is a great question. And whew, man, I'm 25, and it took me almost 25 years to realize that mental health is real. Um, there were some things going on in my family, like as far as like my sister, my mom, that kind of like make me like dig more into it, and then we all go through our own, trials and tribulations. So I feel like a lot of times we kind of downplay what people go through on a daily, and I want to speak for her incident. Um, I think the way that she's going about it isn't the right way, and then the way that you go about things kind of can skew the way people want to like reach out to you and help you. Like for me, for instance, I think she wants attention, and that could be, a mental health issue. So, yeah, I feel like as far as like the Black community, we downplay it, but then you have incidents like this where it's like, do you really need help, or what is this? You know what I mean? So, yeah, as a community, we definitely need to take it more seriously.
Can it be
Okay.
both? Because I don't disagree. Oh Lord, how Dresha.
Dresha.
Dresha, baby. Yeah, I don't disagree, but I think it could be mental health, but some people forget there's a function in a way that some people could really just deal with both, because it's like it's a we've seen people who behave and intentionally make sure that the camera's in front of their face when they're doing something outrageous, and when you're doing it, when you're not that you're not that not crazy doing it to a certain degree without a camera in your face. I think maybe the airport incident, she was involved or something that she might have did without her putting it in her face. You know that that's part of the money, though. You know the whole what's going to be happening. That's why for me it's like, well, you've already showed that. Well, girl, when you were on the other side and you was watching all this fucking ritualistic ass shit, you wasn't worried about the camera. But you was worried about the camera being on you on stage, girl, and you wasn't worried about what went on the behind, and you just went the fuck on. Versus, okay, well, just like how we're comparing the butthurt exes of Megan Thee Stallion. Well, girl, you're just the female version of that when it comes to the industry, because you're not sincere. Because if you were that sincere, you wouldn't be able to be in such places anyway. And I'm gonna put that over now.
Okay, and I agree with you, IG, and I also agree with Trisha. I do believe that she's doing this for attention.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that if
I
her
agree.
career would have taken off and all of these rituals and all of this other stuff that she's talking about, I do believe that she would have been a willing participant just because she consistently brings up her pedophile boyfriend like all
The P
of the
word.
time. I'm sorry, Reckless. She always brings up her P word boyfriend all of the time, and she's constantly um talking about, oh, Jay-Z's a P word, or this other rapper's a P word, or this other rapper's a P word. But you know what? Big L, the man that was in his mid 20s and was sleeping with me when I was 14,
Press me. Hold on for a
he's
minute.
a
Hold on, press me. Because when you said that on my platform, people correct you, so I'm gonna have to correct you.
okay.
Big L is only 4 years older than Jack. He's not
Oh,
like
he's only 4 years.
He's only
For
4 years
some,
older.
but she didn't say. Let me look that up. I am so sorry if I missed that.
Because
But
people was losing their damn mind in my comment section when you said that. Like, this woman is
oh,
misinformed. He is not. He was not in his.
Oh
let
my
me bring
god.
that up because she literally said that he was in his 20s and
Girl.
slept with her. Okay, so Big
Y'all
L's
also
birthday
saying,
is in 1974. Jaguar, I'm looking it up now. I'm so sorry.
I got
In
you.
74,
Anya, let me get you in here.
77. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. But why does she say
you
that
have to
then? She
remember,
always
You can't say she's a liar and then also like think she's telling the truth at the same time.
I know, but I'm just like, but she literally on her video she says that he was in his 20s when he got with her. And I just looked up their birthdays, and you're right, they're only 4 years apart.
Right.
So
And
But
see,
I mean that
why she be saying that? I don't know.
because she
She a liar.
dramatic
knows,
effect.
she knows that the camera, I'm telling you, emotionally manipulative people do this. Like, I was like, nah, it's like, I mean, people talk about the spirit of, and if you have discernment, regardless of what you believe, fine. I'm a heathen. But if you're not into the spiritual, okay, observation. If you're going to look at it from an intellectual part that is not mystic, you know what I'm saying? That there you have to there. Okay, take that side of it to observe that. Wait a minute, because there's people that we've seen in our community that you're going through this and it's not sensationalized. It's not something you're doing. The people that know of you, you know what I'm saying, even before we had the internet and all that thing, you heard me? They know you. We've seen this type of behavior where you could go back and think, okay, yeah, this and doing it for attention out of a certain behavior because of a dysfunction. I also do understand that. But usually when they do that, it's not coming to the degree of being so calculated and functioning and marketing just that. You know what I'm
Because
saying?
literally, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but literally, if you look up Jaguar Wright Big L car vlogs, like she has so many videos in her car of her saying that he was in his 20s when she was like in her teenage years. Like, I'm not making this up. Like, literally, I'm not talking outside of my ass. Like, I'm not. Like, if you look up Jaguar Wright Big L car vlogs, she has so many vlogs about Big L and talking about he was in his. I don't.
So yeah, let me just jump in real quick. I definitely believe that there are two forces that are affecting Jag right now. Um, I think that I agree with Conscious. She absolutely needs to sit a little longer. She needs a long vacation away from the public in general. Um, Something that always bothers me is how this it's not just in our community. We know our community do. It's more it's a bigger issue in our community to neglect mental health. And I just really wish that it would become mandatory, like getting annual physicals. I really wish that it could be like a 90-day mandatory thing that everyone see, have their mental health checked. You know what I mean? Like, because clearly we're seeing people that's just like out here losing it. And yes, some of them are trying to monetize off of it. You know what I'm saying? And that comes off as if like, okay, if you're able to, try to monetize off of it in any way, then you clearly know what you're doing. You can know what you're doing and still be having a mental breakdown at the same time.
Mhm.
I've seen people that are like literally like completely off their shits in a sense and still are functional. Still very much, can function, during their manic episodes. So that's what I see what's happening with her. And I just want her to I don't know. I just need her to get some help. And the people that are around her are definitely enablers and leeches and it really sucks. You know what I mean? To like like to be really going through a phase like this. Now, granted, she's not acting like she's necessarily looking for help or whatever, but I do believe that these are cries for help, like the attention seeking, all the answers that she's pulling. I believe it's a cry for help. I do. And I need someone that genuinely loves her, that don't want anything for her, like from her, but the best of her, to like really like intervene. And like she needs like an intervention, a serious one.
She needs a spiritual one too, because I will say, you mentioning that, I didn't mention that part too, but it's just that. But since you did kind of mention that too, it's like, yeah, the forces that because that she's pulling on, and what is her subconscious going through to where she's thinking of doing these type of rituals? What what dark intuition that is, causing her brain to actually get her body to go through with these type of behaviors, for people who do look at it from a spiritual and esoteric, what I'm saying? Because I could kind of do see that, even though before that I kind of could see that too. There's something else spiritually. She needs to be in a very spiritual, neutral place, because I could just kind of see in the way that she speaks and the behavior and how she reacts to things, that there's something else going on the other side of reality that does affect this reality.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It seems like
I'm gonna be honest. In
she's trying.
terms of Jaguar, no shade. Oh, well, my fault, Anya, because I'm gonna have to go last because I'm probably gonna go on a whole rant.
No, go
You can go,
ahead.
Anya.
It does seem like she, to me, even though it's in the most toxic way. So everybody does not know how to communicate. Grief counseling is very important as well. A lot of people don't know how to communicate rationally to let you know that they need help. We see it every damn day. Every time we walk out our door, people don't know how to handle their emotions. Instead of you could bump into somebody and they just become unhinged on you. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just be like, what I'm saying, say excuse me, no, but mother, it'd be that extra. That's the energy that's going around the earth right now. So I just feel like, although yes, there is a spiritual component to it, right? There is also a medical component to it as well, and
Agreed.
it works
They
hand in hand.
Yep,
It,
they function together exactly. Yeah, and one thing you would, even with thinking about that, you're right, because think about how many celebrities. The only difference, I guess, the bias might be, I guess, for me or other people who think like this, is that it's a difference when, I guess, if a person have a certain talent and art and a skill, and despite them mentally breaking down, because you hear about it all the time, really, when you think about it, right? Like they got a problem, an addiction, they have some type of mental, you know what I'm saying? They have some type of mental breakdown that's going on, but they're still going up stage, they're still singing, they're still doing whatever it is that they do, and they are definitely having an internal psychosis breakdown going on, right? And you don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then when it's there, it's like, well, damn. But that's kind of like the part of the high functioning. That's why people don't see it when that person goes and gets a gun, like the Asian man did in California. He took it out on his own Asian people. And we talk about in geriatrics, 50, 60, 70-year-old, just went on in there and shot up, the club, shot up the dance hall. So no, and everybody described it. He was a very calm, and he gave my kids dance lessons. That is an example of, unfortunately, a high function psychotic person, or a person that's about to break down. That is a very good example. So it's all around you all the time. So that's very true.
I'm gonna be honest. Now, in terms of Jaguar, right? I'm gonna try to make this rant real quick. I just can't. I just can't. I just can't with Miss Jaguar. I'm gonna tell you why. The reason why I can't with Miss Jaguar. I understand mental health, and I'm gonna say that first. I'm gonna try to leave that separate so people can understand when it comes to mental health, take it serious, etc. But I'm gonna tell you the bits and pieces of why I kind of look at Jag and Kanye West in the same light, only because of the simple fact that you're literally sitting in these interviews, exposing all these different artists, exposing the industry. But my thing is this: if you're gonna have those conversations, then you need to really push the envelope on these conversations. And the thing I found very disturbing is, like, it's kind of, she's not really doing the conversation any justice, because she's always talking about the puppets or the players of the said industry instead of exposing the industry itself. You're talking about Mariah Carey. Yes, Mariah Carey probably allegedly, in my personal opinion, I'm gonna say all this to let you know this is not fact. If she did have to sleep with all these people to get her way up, you're stuck on Mariah Carey. You need to be focused on the people that she's sleeping with, that are gatekeepers in the industry, if you really want to expose the industry itself, not its players. And then not only that, She did that with Mariah Carey. She did that with what's the lady name? Mary J. Blige. She did it with Alicia Keys and her alleged lesbian ass. She did that with I want to say, who was it? I think, don't quote me on this. I want to say, I think she said her husband, Alicia Keys' husband, whatever, saying that they're into some crazy stuff. But I'm gonna tell you another thing that gets me when it comes down to Jag is because I look at her the same light as Kanye West, only because simple fact that when you were in the industry, you know, you was cool with it, you were okay with it, but then now that you're out, it comes off, in my personal opinion, you're only saying something only because of simple fact that you don't have the range or the same connections like you used to. That's the only reason why you're opening your mouth. Because the thing about it is that you're sitting talking about Beyonce's a witch, but meanwhile you're literally on IG Live using spiritual rituals, as in you taking your son's ashes and throwing them on people. That's like spiritual hoodoo. Hindu is like that like you're doing the exact same thing. So you can't talk about somebody being quote unquote a crackhead when you're an alcoholic. What sense does that make? So I just can't. And then on top of that, when she does have these conversations, she doesn't really push the envelope and really hit the conversations on its head. So I just can't. No shade. I just can't with her. No
and
shade.
then you know what? Good point though, Brother Reckless. Because when you say alcoholic, okay, that can be a factor too, right? Not saying it can't be. I guess it's safe to say at this point.
Oh wait. No, okay, so that's my saying. When I say, I'm not talking about them being actual crackheads or being actual alcoholics. No. I'm just saying you can't talk about somebody doing one thing when you're doing the exact same thing. No shade.
Right, but here's the thing: that could also be part of some people's too. That what brings out earlier, like what me and Presley was talking about. That could be what is exacerbating the behavior. That could, because alcohol, spirits in a bottle. You know what I'm saying? The reefer takes you to, it opens up that pineal gland, that chakra. Now everybody thinks that open up that pineal gland and chakra. It varies, darling. Results may vary. So, for some people will do certain things and have those type of, yes, and it's definitely chemical and biological and mental. It is a balance, because you can't say it's not, because well, here it is physically acting out and functioning in this way in the physical without you even being into any type of spirituality. You physically see how it is responding and what it looks like in the reality. So that is also biological and mental.
And on top of that, I know that you said that Blueface and Chrisean are next. I just wanted to add just one lasting statement. While everybody was talking, I was like researching Jag and Big L, because I'm just like, she's been saying this for like, I thought it was like real. And then the 4 years apart thing, they're actually 3 years apart, not 4 years apart. There's 3 years apart. So what is she talking about? Like,
Presley, she's a liar. Why you keep trying to hold her word?
Yeah, like
she's a liar. You keep trying to hold her word, and she keeps showing you time and time again she's lying. But even if she's not lying, she's not. You shouldn't give her the benefit of the doubt.
Girl, look Presley. You too, when you want a good laugh. Well, and not because her artistry is bad, but if you look at the Presley videos of her up there singing jazz and shit,
baby, you are not
versus the Jaguar Wright. You gotta make sure. Am I looking at?
This is not going to be a drag or read session, so we're going to move on. We're going to switch gears and we're going to get into different lanes. All right, so now we're going to get to the finale, bitch. Okay, y'all. So we're here. We're going to talk about Blueface and Chrisean Rock and both of their toxicities. So recently in the media, Chrisean Rock came out and announced that she was pregnant. In response, Blueface basically let it be known on Twitter that he not the baby father. Chrisean, for one, he did say that Chrisean and him were both broke up. Then he said that Chrisean was cheating on him and saying that she was sleeping with 10 other dudes. And then Chrisean responded on Twitter and said, but okay, here's the thing. When she responded, she confirmed that they broke up. But then she said that, why would I say that you're the father when I don't know for sure? Now, here's the thing that they both of them agreed on, besides the actual breakup. They agreed that they're going to get a DNA test, or they want a DNA test, just about to prove who's going to look stupid in the end. But then after that, girl, now I know this is going to make me go on a whole rant, and I know Conscious and IG probably not going to be here for that. The interview with No Jumper, bitch! When Chrisean got kicked out and dragged out of No Jumper interview, and she ended up getting backlash. What do you guys have to say? Anya, I'm gonna start with you first. What do you have to say about all of this?
You know, it was just very typical. You know, this world we live in, the toxic patriarchy, the misogynistic. It was just very much like, okay, y'all gotta be kidding me. So, Manosphere, y'all not gonna sit here and hold y'all dude accountable, like, and just be honest. Like, for me, if you're gonna be an asshole, just be a proud, like a boastful, proud asshole. Don't try to like make it seem like this young man is such a good upstanding young man and it's just all on this young lady. That's not the case. We have two tragic toxic individuals. They both play a part in the shenanigans. But my only issue with, well, I have an issue with both of them. My main issue though with Blue is the fact that you're just literally using this young lady. Like, you really don't. I could see if it was like Whitney and Bobby, you know what I'm saying, type of thing, where they both really genuinely loved each other, even though it was toxic as hell. You knew that, you know what I'm saying, he was not with her to use her, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? They just had that toxic ghetto love, right? To me, he does not love this young lady. You know what I mean? He's literally with her because she is a money bag. She is a money bag. So I feel like she looks at him as someone that she can build with because he's helped her get on. So she's looking at it from a point of view of being young, dumb, naive, and also broken as well. She looking at it like, you know what I'm saying, they could build together. You know what I'm saying? They did this, we could become a power couple type of thing. That's what she gives me. And it's just really unfortunate that at times she makes me feel like she's woken up and realized who she is, and is finding her self-worth, and wanting to, you know, get healed and be productive. And then she's easily sucked back in for whatever reason, back into the toxicity. Am I surprised that what we call him for, what is he for, Loco? What's his name? What's Conscious nickname for the dude?
Well, Conscious. What's
You
your
know,
name? I call him New York Times.
you know, whatever his name is. Yeah, you know him. You know, considering that he's allegedly a former pimp, because I don't even know if he's a former one at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm not surprised. You got to look at a person's like character. I'm not surprised he came at her that way because he's, you know, a alleged ex-pimp. And I was more disgusted with the female that was up there, that was on that pod. I was so extremely, she gave me pick Misha vibes. Like, how do you sit and allow this woman to be, I don't care what she has done. There's still like, where's the level of protection for this female? Like, you're a female, she's a female. Like, that moments like that, I feel like women, we should always protect each other in moments like that. And then when we get behind closed doors, you know what I'm saying, let each other asses have it. You know what I'm saying? But when you see the united front in Manosphere, we should be standing straight up for each other. Like, cut the bull, like, let's be for real. We should really be united. But it wasn't like that. So
Okay. Let me get Conscious in here. Conscious, what you got to say?
I think that Blueface and Chrisean are two individuals who are probably a blueprint or an example of what the fuck the future generation is going to be out in this bitch. You're living in a culture where toxicity and bad behaving and being a bad bitch and being a trifling incel are all monetizable. So what's the point of going to college? What's the point of being anything noble? Well, you can just act a goddamn plum fool and become like a wealthy ass brat in place of an actual legacy. So I think it's really sad that both of these individuals have trauma and are weird as hell. And I mean, I look at Chrisean and Blueface as a gothic ass couple. And I think it's sad. I think it's even more tragic because dysfunctional relationships are nothing new. Ike and Tina, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. But I think what's scarier is that we're living in a society that provides space and monetization and total sensationalism and offers the world on a platter to this type of buffoonery. And if I was a part of the generation coming up, I can see why these young people do not give a fuck about school. I completely understand why they don't want to go like a politician, bitch. No, I want to be an IG model, hoe. I want to be a content creator, bitch. I want to be a TikToker. I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be a reality star. I want to be a whatever. And this society is making like gross provisions for total debauchery and egotism. So I'm not so much as polarized by Blueface and Chrisean. I'm more so polarized by the system that's rewarding them at the level that they're being rewarded for doing nothing but causing absolute and total chaos and mayhem. And I think there's a lot more of this to come.
Okay. IG, let me squeeze you up in here. What you got to say?
I mean, unfortunately, because I'm getting ready for work too.
No, you are good.
Unfortunately, it's what happens when you get toxic femininity and toxic masculinity, and they complement each other in the worst type of way to produce the worst result. So, I think that, based off so much of how we talk about these systems, this progressive way of being negative and shallow, and just the ideal of being in love with the ideal of the cap and what it brings as a result to it, more than the love itself. I think they're both in some type of, not because they love each other, but just conditions of convenience, and kind of like with Jaguar Wright. It's a thing where it's more better for our money, nigga, if we hold on to this toxic ass relationship and let this toxic shit play out, versus, I really have an attachment. Well, I like what this life brings. I like what the association also comes with it and keeps me popular and keeps me familiar. I like that it brings me that. And I think they both are in an agreement that they're more in love with that convenience and that mobility than actually loving each other in detail.
Okay, I agree. Dresha, girl, yeah, I'm gonna get it. I promise. What you got to say?
Okay, don't bash me. But
Oh Lord,
I like Blueface and Chrisean. I like them.
You love that toxic ass shit, girl. Don't worry, I used to be there too.
I feel like there is something within that relationship that brings them together. Could it be love? Sure. Could it be something else? Yeah, absolutely. But I feel like what they have going on is more so strategy. And I am not taking up for Chrisean at all whatsoever. I like to hold people accountable. So as far as that interview goes, there's a time and place. And I do understand that Blueface has a way of being a narcissist. He's strategic as well. So with and Anya, I think he said something about the woman interviewer. I feel like she was trying to reason with Chrisean, like trying to like de-escalate the situation, trying to hear her out. That's how I took it, but they're a mess, but I feel like they can make it. I do.
But you don't think that as a co-host, she should have kind of toned it? Because, okay, for me, right, I felt like she was the only other feminine energy in the room. They should have really allowed her to deal with Chrisean. versus them, because Chrisean displays a lot of toxic masculine energy as well, right? And then you have their toxic masculine energy. Where's the balance? I think the other female should have been the balance to kind of like
Hey, I sent the link, okay? Okay. Larry is already backstage, and I'm about to be backstage.
Okay. Bye. And plus, I'm about to end this soon too. By the way, too.
The link now. Okay. Yeah, he's coming. Okay, bye. Okay.
Bye.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That wasn't. Oh, I thought it was
all of that.
Okay, I do have to go. So I just want to say this part. A way for Queen Mammy in the studio to have de-escalated the situation was to actually validate Chrisean, because it was two wrong, toxic motherfuckers sitting on the couch. And if she wanted to de-escalate, she could have said, "You're absolutely right, sis." And people who put out a certain type of energy should be prepared for that energy back. It's hypocritical of Blue to require Chrisean to not use the word bitch when it comes to him, but he can weaponize it against her at any interim. So never ditch what you can't take, for one. Blue, you also are toxic as hell. We've seen footage of you putting your hands on this woman. You have had infidelities on this woman. Like, you have also emotionally and verbally abused this damn woman. So, let's call it both ways, that down the middle. But Queen Mammy was so busy deep throating Blueface and doing the work of patriarchy that she just, of course, she was only there to just hand out the whip to Chrisean and to act like Blueface is the black Yahshua walking on water, super saving hoes from poverty and terrible music careers, when we know he's a buffoon as well. So I just wish that she would have validated Chrisean and would have helped Chrisean to like bring some equilibrium to the exchange, but also holding Blueface accountable. But instead, they literally made Chrisean Rock seem like a phenomenon all of herself, and just allowed Blueface to be affirmed and to be validated and to like sit there with a sense of fucking dignity while they ripped Chrisean to shreds. Like, they literally spoke to this woman as if she wasn't even in the damn room. Like, I would have been like, what was the point of even inviting me to the interview? If y'all were gonna ask my man all about me, y'all could have just invited him. I wouldn't have put my tampon in and got prepared for all of this if y'all didn't need me. If y'all was just gonna live vicariously through his perception of me, then y'all could have did this without me. I thought the whole thing was gaslighting, ratchet as hell, manipulative as hell. And I just felt bad because Chrisean is also not strong enough to not give people what they're looking for. So, of course, she linked into giving them the reaction they wanted. And No Jumper was able to make good TV off of watching the security peel her ass up off the floor and drag her down the goddamn hallway like some damn, like some worn out turban. So, it's a mess. I gotta go though, you guys. This was amazing. Thank you for inviting me. Amazing panel. I will see you guys later. Peace.
I do want to ask a question. So, do no one thinks that the woman on the No Jumper YouTube channel, y'all don't think that she tried to like kind of be a middleman? Nothing. Like, I think she wasn't like taking sides, but she was trying to hear what Chrisean had to say. Like, I understand this, and she meant this, and she was like asking questions to clarify.
No, but she absolutely,
I don't believe.
She absolutely, when she said to Chrisean, "You were wrong. Like, you can't call a man a bitch." Like, no, I didn't see nowhere where she even made an attempt to even support this girl. Not to say that she could not tell this young lady that, listen, your behavior is fucked up. Like, you like cut this shit out. She could have still did all of that, but I don't see. Just give me an example where you thought she was helping sis out, because I didn't see it. I might have missed it.
Like, I don't know if we could cuss. Yeah, we could cuss. Y'all been cussing this whole time. But the bitch where Chrisean was like, oh, he called me a bitch, so I can call him a bitch. And of course, she's like, me as a woman, I'm not going to call my man that. I might use another term, but I'm not just going to flat out call him a bitch. But she was saying how like she saw why Chrisean did that and how it's not fair that he can call her one, but she can't, reciprocate that same energy. So like I said,
But you
I think that she did what she needed to do. Of course, she could have done more. Like, you know what, y'all gonna back off her. We're gonna move to the next topic. She could have said that, but I also felt like she was playing her role as, a co-interviewer or whatever her role is. I feel like, she did what she needed to do. Nothing more, nothing less. That's
I'm
I,
agree.
that's
I
me.
don't believe that. I don't agree with that simply because nobody brought up the fact that Blueface has a newborn. He had another child with his first child's mother, like not, and then he literally got online and told Krishan, "That's my baby mother. I'm always gonna fuck her. You have to deal with it." And so, like, they didn't bring up that, and then you know what I mean. So it's just like that's another thing, and that's why I got so like um
Triggered.
stuck on, yeah, triggered or stuck on what Dresha had said about Megan having drama, because I'm like, nobody ever brings up the man's actual drama. And when they talk about women's drama, it's always like bitter
Mm.
exes. You know what I mean? Or like people who she slept with. That's when people will be like, oh, women have drama, and it's always like a bitter man being
yeah, you
upset that they left her. And
you were
then
saying
so when it comes to the actual men, like they actually do be in drama. Like you're in this whole relationship with her. Not only do you cheat with her, but you also have a newborn on you. You have a baby on her,
Mm.
and tell her to just like accept it. And
No,
then when he came out and said, "Oh," no, literally, when he came out and said, "Oh, that's my baby mama. You're gonna have to deal with that." She came out and was crying and upset and said, "You made me have all of these abortions because you said you didn't want to have any more kids. And you go and have a kid with this other woman." And so that's why I think she's keeping the baby because of that.
Mm.
wait, can I say something really, really quick? I'm
Yeah.
the type of person,
Well,
especially as a woman, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you did this, so I'm gonna do that. You want to go cheat, so I'm gonna go cheat. I'm gonna hold myself accountable as a lady, as an adult,
Oh, yeah, I
and
agree
do
with
whatever
that.
I need to do to take myself away from this situation. So the
Oh,
but you
fact
know
that Chrisean continues to stay in this whole ordeal lets me know that she's well aware of what she's doing. Like I said, it's strategy. Now, of course, it could be genuine feelings involved, but ultimately, I can't just say, oh, Blueface, you're wrong for doing this, you're wrong for doing that, because we all know like he is wrong. But at the same time, Chrisean, she wants to stay. This is voluntarily.
that
So
it that has a lot
no,
to do with environment, though. That has a lot to do with
I
um
completely agree.
that has a lot to do with how you're raised in the environment you're raised, what you see, because
that's a family.
it is definitely a learned behavior. And I don't think that it is fair. Although I definitely see your point. And there's a part of me that wants to side with you because I used to think that way. But when you don't know any better, I mean, no matter what someone else tells you, someone like they said, you could take a lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. No matter what someone else says, it just has to be a moment that comes to her. And I do believe that if she is in fact pregnant, regardless of who the father is, I believe the baby is going to literally make her grow up. I think that is going to, because
I don't.
it's okay, well you can say you don't when I'm finished, because it is a known fact in general. I'm going to say about 80% of women mature when they conceive and actually give birth to a child. It is almost like because speaking from experience, I was sort of kind of like Krishan as well. So I understand that energy that she's walking in, living in, and operating in. I can tell you, having my first child saved my life. When you don't have any responsibilities to anyone else but yourself, you can live the most reckless, out of control lifestyle. But when you have to be responsible for someone else, that just changes your whole like thought pattern. So I do,
Mhm.
as a parent, believe that I don't think it's going to be a 24-hour turnaround completely, but I do mark my words. The same thing I said about Cardi B. Mark my words. Chrisean is going to change her behavior patterns.
Well,
Okay,
okay.
I was
So,
gonna.
wait. I want to get Dracia in here. Is there anything else you wanted to say? Because I know you have to go soon, so I want to make sure that you don't cut out on us.
You
Wait,
on
you
mute?
muted.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna say that we're just gonna have to agree to disagree. Like you
No, I
said,
agree with you.
Anya, that we all came up differently. So we are not gonna think the same. But when I look at situations from the outside, I'm thinking of me, how I would react if I was in that situation. So how I would react is completely different from how she would react. And I don't clearly understand exactly her mindset. You know what I mean? So that's how I see it. I'm not excusing Blueface from all the BS that he's throwing on her, but I do feel like it's a part of the plan. That's me. But
Okay.
I will be listening. I just need to get off because I need to charge my phone. But I'll see y'all next
Thank
time.
you.
Bye.
Later.
Because now I'm about to,
I just.
girl.
Okay, sorry.
Let me
I just wanted
see.
to say that I completely agree with Trisha. What the point I was making is that Krishan's mess is thrown out, but not Blueface's mess. So I
Mm,
believe, so I completely agree with everything Trisha said. My point was just that, hey, look over here, Blueface has mess, just like I was like saying like, hey, Megan has drama because she has bitter exes. Hey, Tori's committed crimes. Hey, guys, let's not put everything on the woman here. Like that's the point I was making.
okay. Well, I'm about to end this panel, so you guys let me know. You have any closing thoughts? Oh, you already left. Jeez, she got she got up out of here. So Presley, was that your closing thoughts?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm gonna see you later then. I'm gonna drop you down. Alrighty. Oh Lord! Now, in terms of Blueface, I'm gonna give my final thoughts. Then we're gonna end this bad boy. I don't need this being 2 hours. On top of that, I have to be somewhere else as well. So, what's going on, y'all? Okay, so now in terms of Blueface and Chrisean, baby, I'm gonna be honest. When it comes down to them, I personally feel that. Ooh, let me drop the link for IG. Come back up here. Thank you. And by the way, too, I seen y'all in the comment section in the chat giving my friend Drake a hard time, but it's all right. I like her because one thing she gonna do, she gonna stand 10 toes of what she said, which is something that I appreciate, especially when it comes down to a panel. And then not only that, she's willing to learn. She's also willing to hear other sides and stuff. So, IG, I just dropped the link for you. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. In terms, here you go, right here.
What's that?
Hey.
Yes. Go ahead. I was listening to your thoughts.
Okay, so what was your opinion? What's your opinion when it comes down to Blueface and Chrisean?
I mean, based off of when I saw that interview, I was just like, yeah, I didn't expect the other female co-host to, because her role is to be the co-host, but not just that. She kind of gives me that I want to hang with the bros, even if it means that if I have to kind of between me, she's not concerned with with having a female camaraderie code as she is just to being comfortable in the position that she's in to be in those spaces. And sometimes you have to play your social capital and social politics in a way that I guess behooves what you do. You know what I'm saying? But them two, I mean, of course they're gonna make it look like Sean is more aggressive when you can see clearly both of these people. At least, I mean, call me. It's some toxic shit, but I'm glad K. Sean is just not sitting up there and just taking the beatings. Yes, bitch, hit him in the head with a glass, girl. Pour some grits on his ass. If in the meantime, don't just sit there and let him use you as a motherfucking punching bag. Do something.
It's hood punching bag.
That's
Do
toxic.
something.
That's toxic, but that's not. But I'm just saying, it should not be that way, regardless of the sex or gender that's involved. But regardless of the sex and gender that's involved, I think that you can't. At least the one thing I think that's what kind of makes it easy to paint her. You just see her being assertive back as a result of him being the initial instigator of such violence and stuff like that. And then, all of a sudden, because she's reacting like any fucking male or man would do, which is reacting like that isn't a fucking sex or gender specific thing, you heard me? But aggression is met with aggression. That's biological, sweetheart. It doesn't discriminate. It's very much all the way across the board. So she's faulted for just responding aggressively to some instead of just playing the submissive role and just she's just supposed to sit there and get beat. No, fight back.
Yep, I agree. Well, let the people know where they can find you, where you're located, what do you have going on. Let us know.
Well, I'm on TikTok and YouTube. IG Green 85 is my TikTok. Instagram, YouTube. Of course, you can find me on the Reckless Bureau and the Conscious TV panels and stuff like that. So, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna get back on here. Y'all, once I get into a certain mode, I'm just doing things that needs to be done, so I can get in a position to where I can commit to making content, because I know it's a commitment, and I just don't want to start. I don't want to start nothing I can't finish. Can you hear me?
All righty.
But that's it.
I went over here muting myself by mistake.
Yeah, man. That's it.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm gonna drop you down. All right.
All right.
Hey, girl, here we go. So I'm gonna give my little spiel and I'm gonna end this bad boy. First things first, I do want to say thank you guys for coming out and actually coming out. Thank you guys for actually being viewers and actually watching the first season, the first episode of Reckless Bureau. We kind of started off rough, but we did actually work out the kinks and stuff. I'm telling y'all, today, everything that happened to me today, and also with other panelists and everything else, it was kind of encouraging me not to even do the show. But I was like, you know what? I don't care. I don't care if it doesn't come out perfect. I don't care if it had little hiccups and stuff, big hiccups. We're gonna do this. And even Conscious had to remind me, we're gonna do this. Let's do this. So I really appreciate everybody who helped out. I really appreciate all of the viewers. I want to say thank you, Voice of Reason, for your contribution. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. I really do appreciate it. And also, Kim, thank you so very much for your Cash App. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. I really do appreciate all of the help and all of the support that you guys do give me. I will be now. I was planning on showing more new faces, but all things happen for a reason. But I want to most definitely give out a special thanks to Dracia for coming onto the platform, expressing her true opinion, really being part of the panel, because I understand that many people may not always fully agree with what she may think or what other people may think, but in order for us to have a conversation, and also in order for us to actually have an effective panel, you must have all sides, whether you want to hear it or not, or whether you agree or not. So I really do want to give a special thanks to Dracia. Thank you so very much. I'm gonna call you after this. And thank you guys. So now when it comes down to Blueface and Chrisean, now in terms of Blueface and Chrisean, let's be very clear. I think they're both toxic, but in that specific situation, I most definitely believe that he was the victim from the naked eye, but he was the villain to those who picked up the subtle cues, and also picked up the and kind of paid attention to the nuances in the situation. Like paid attention to the language that he would use, or pay attention to certain things that he would say, I'm not speaking for you, but then go to speak for it. But then when you also when you go to speak for it, you're misspeaking and you're kind of like putting her out there. It was a lot of things that were going on. Now in terms of memification, her on the other hand, I do not believe that she was there to mediate the situation. Now I will say that in the word with her saying bitch and stuff and trying to like, be and kind of being like, you know what, when it comes down to I may not call my man a bitch, but however, when it comes down to, I can understand why she's saying it. I can understand that part, but I will say that I also noticed in the video as well is that even when she did that, Blueface most definitely turned on Miss Memified Gina. And the reason why I say that is because as soon as she started to it seemed like even when Blueface felt like she was kind of leaning into somewhat taking up for Chrisean in some sort of way, all of a sudden, if you go back and you listen, he was like dismissing Gina and kind of like Gina just kind of like whatever. So I do believe that they're both toxic. I do believe that in that situation, even though Chrisean is not a innocent person, but I do believe that out of everybody in there, she was the actual victim, because I felt like Anya said, Blueface was baiting, but also he not only was Blueface baiting her, New York Times, aka newspaper, aka show, baiting her and talking to her like she was a child and stuff. And so I feel like a lot of people is only so much until a person snaps, and it didn't help that she was already emotional from either being pregnant or her period, and also she was intoxicated. So I feel like that was bound to happen in a sense if she would have stayed. I felt like the best option, I felt like for her, was to just leave in the end. Now I know in the moment, punching somebody upside their head, and especially when you they've been trying you, I understand that probably feels good in the moment. But however, in the end, the way that they were baiting you, they were going to twist the narrative regardless. So even if you were justified in punching all of them in their face, they were still going to post it. And for people who didn't notice the subtle cues or the nuances in the in the interaction, you was automatically going to look like you was the aggressive and bad guy. You get what I'm saying? But I want to say thank you guys so very much. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys for coming out and really supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it. That is it for my video for today, guys. Please make sure you guys pop that like button, hit the subscribe button, and please smack the notification bell so do not miss any of my posts from me. Till next time, guys, I will see you guys later. Bye.